when concentration in the divine is the necessity of your life, when you cannot do without it, when it continues naturally from morning to night, whatever you may be engaged in doing, whether you sit down to meditation or go about and do things and work, what is required of you is consciousness. That is the one need, to be constantly conscious of the divine. Now, it begins with remembrance of the divine, but remembrance isn't everything. Remembrance progresses to consciousness of the divine, to really look at this whole universe as an extended body of the divine. To remember when you're interacting with anyone that you're interacting with the divine. How would you treat them? Whether it's your staff, whether it's that person who rubbed you off the wrong way. The constant remembrance that this is also Mother. This is also the light. This is also the divine. When I'm doing any work, to do it as an offering to the divine. When constantly I can't stop thinking of the divine, that is the meditative state the Mother wants us to be in. So for that, it may be necessary to put aside a daily time where you strengthen your aspiration. It could just be 10-12 minutes. But you really connect with the Mother and you put an aspiration that, Mother, throughout the day, let me remember you. Let me see you in everything and let me love you. So there was a poem, very beautifully, the poet is talking about a hard time she's going through. And it ends with, through every moment of whatever I have to go through, give me this much grace, let me love you. Because if I love you, I'm sorted. Whatever you take me through, if I'm, when we are in Pandi, Samadhi, whatever, we have that feeling of love. Whatever happens outside, we are good. So that is all we need. We don't need circumstances to fall into place. We need that inner connection which takes us through everything. Sri Aurobindo's words, the practice of this yoga demands a constant inward remembrance of the one central liberating knowledge. So Sri Aurobindo says that the practice of his integral yoga involves a constant, look at his word, constant, not that I remember it 2 minutes and forget, inward remembrance of one central principle. What is it? In all is the one self. The one divine is all. All are in the divine. All are the divine. So in all is the one self. In the floor, in the air, everything is vibrating with that one divine. The one divine has become all. So as the Upanishads say, everything is the Vishwarupa of that one light, the universal form of that one light. And all are all are the divine. All are the divine and there is nothing else in the universe. This thought or this faith is the whole background until it becomes the whole substance of the consciousness of the worker. Now, if we could really live this, that everything is the divine is everything, the divine is in everything, what would be the difference in the way we interact with people? Why would judgment drop?
Because like you see the divine in that person, so then you come from that aspect of love.
Yes, you say that Mother in this person is making the person behave like that. I don't know why, but at least let me suspend judgment. Even if you don't love, at least you'll be able to halt that tiring wheel and cycle of judgment. And if you...
I don't think so. See, if you're saying you come to this point, then there'll be only love.
No, but if we haven't come to this point, then at least judgment will stop. Then it can progress to love. And if we see someone really suffering, that's a big one for us, no? We see people suffering and we shrink. And seeing human suffering makes us question God and grace at a very superficial level. But there also, if I remember that I'm seeing only this form suffer, but it's actually mother in that form who has chosen this experience of suffering. And the mother in that form knows how to look after herself. It's not my responsibility to completely heal this person or take away the person's pain. But I'll do what I can as an offering to the mother in her. Beyond that, it's the mother in her who will look after her, right? And we see this so beautifully exemplified in Mother Teresa. We know that she used to go into the streets of Calcutta and clean the wounds of lepers, wounds into which rats would have eaten. I mean, it was a very pathetic state. And day after day, her life was to go into the streets, clean the lepers, clean the sick people, bring them into a home so that even if they were to die, they would have a dignified death. That was her work. To us, it seems like a nightmare, but it was the joy of her life. And somebody asked her once, Mother, how do you do this day after day? How do you touch these lepers and clean them and they are smelling and all that? And she said, you know, you're only seeing a dirty, diseased leper. I am seeing my Christ on the cross and I'm nursing him. So that changes the whole equation. If you are nursing Christ, then firstly you don't feel sorry because you know that he is all powerful. He has chosen this experience for himself for whatever reason, and you're doing it as a gift to that person. And that's one thing I'm increasingly realizing, that when we get pulled down into unhappiness, when we see unhappy people, we don't help them at all. Because how do we help them if we are sinking with them, no? You can pull a person up if your hand is higher. But if that person's sinking hand is making you sink with them, how can you help them? So if you really remember that that person is also the divine, and you do for the person like you do for mother, mother has said, no, that if you come from the highest towards any person, however pathetic the person's situation is, the highest in that person is obliged to come forward. So if you interact with anyone, the unhappy, the happy, the wild, the beautiful, all with this drishti of you are also God, you are also God, that is your biggest ticket to happiness and your greatest openness to freedom.